Project Focus is made up of a very diverse group of people. It has changed over the years. People have joined our group for a little while and then moved on. It stayed pretty consistently at about 10 people, and it's all volunteer based. So there's people who have come to us and said, I have a certain skill or a certain talent and I'd like to work with you guys.
Project Focus is a nonprofit organization. It's a grassroots movement.
Divided into two different locations, two different main locations. There's U.S. operations and then there's Ugandan operations.
The one common thread that we have amongst us is that we all want to elicit a change in the communities that we live or work within.
There's kind of different pillars of society in which when those are bettered, it makes the society better as a whole. And so one of those is education.
The most important thing is to really educate yourself, do the research, so that you can find exactly what your niche is to get involved.
The central mission of Project Focus is to tell people's stories in hopes that people will be inspired to connect with somebody across the globe.
In Uganda, we do art therapy projects, and we also do development projects in one community. When it comes to the United States, we do community projects, but also we do mostly exhibitions in many different cities. That includes Boston, Seattle, New York, and Chicago. In Chicago is where most of the base lies, and that's where we were founded in.
The goal of Project Focus is to basically connect these different communities through a common language, which we see as art.
Project Focus originally started with 3 individuals, Ora, Danny, and Harishi, who decided to go to Uganda, and through them sharing the stories that they learned when they were there the first time, they came back to Chicago and they put up an exhibition, and I think that's where all of the rest of us trickled in.
I was invited to my friend Harisha's apartment to watch a documentary film about a war in northern Uganda. The film was called Invisible Children. It was talking about a 21-year civil war and its impact on children, oftentimes who were abducted and forced to be child soldiers. It was a really painful film to watch. And after watching the film, Harish and I were a bit stunned.
I felt like I was being asked by the documentary, am I going to do something? Am I going to do something to more than watching a documentary? I mean, at that point I had a decision to make.
We met Harishi at a cafe because he was talking very loudly about the war that was going on in northern Uganda.
We would go to cafes, we would talk really loudly about our project going to Uganda, and we attracted a lot of attention.
What we decided to do is to go and witness more and create that kind of media that can inspire their people by bringing in something universal as an art therapy, creative projects, music, all kinds of media that goes beyond these barriers that we have about color, race, ethnicity, religion. It goes past that and it gets to the heart.
We wanted to inspire compassion. Our inspiration is just to connect with people all the way across the world, and basically to share love.
The mission of Project Focus, written down on paper, is it's to educate, inspire, and empower.
It's this cyclical process, our mission. So our first goal is to work in a community and to form relationships with this community, make a long-term commitment to a community, and get to know them and see what their needs are and what their strengths are. Document it through different forms of media.
At first, our end goal was community development of some sort. At the time, we thought that we would help build an orphanage. And in the process of doing that, we realized that we can't just come in as outsiders and give a bunch of money or say, you know, we're gonna give your community an orphanage and this is gonna solve a problem.
Me going into a community and building houses for the people in the community was so disempowering, in that by creating projects with the community, that it would be empowering for them and that they could take ownership for it.
We could take a different approach, one that will be more educational, one that will be more sustainable in the long run for the community that we work with and for our community here in the United States, in Chicago.
A big piece of our mission is responsible media.
people didn't project necessarily the situation which they were living in, because there were elements of beauty, elements of joy, like incredible joy, which is something that you don't see very much on television. People in Uganda, even in these slums, live complex lives, just like everyone else. And so how do you capture this complexity? How do you share it in a way that people can respond to? So we gave youth aged 12 to 21 cameras to express themselves in a way that they wanted to express themselves, allowing them to kind of be our tour guide.
They took a ton of pictures, and the prompt was just describe your life in Uganda. We wanted to give them a chance to tell their story to whoever the audience might be.
You have to speak up, and you have to be comfortable saying what you think, or else your voice will never be heard.
We wanted to create some sort of experiential reference for people in America, people around the world, to understand each other, kind of cut down the cultural barriers that exist.
We worked with a lot of artists who volunteered their time, artists who themselves, realized that this was a project that was worthwhile, using their skills to benefit people other than themselves.
That's one of the reasons why we are not stopping just at doing art and art projects and art therapy, but we're taking the step of also using the materials, the products that are created in creating some sort of resources for the community that we work in, or create development projects with the community involvement. While the people who give us money or donate to our projects, they're learning about responsible donorship. They're learning about responsible media. They're learning about how to be engaged and active in their giving. And so those are the root philosophies of Project Focus.
It's easy to have an altruistic nature, but it's much harder to actually do the work and do the research to know exactly what makes a difference.
Project Focus is more of the idea of empathy, and it's just like, you could very well be in this situation. And not saying that we're helping them, it's just like kind of a mutual relationship between the communities we work with, and they assist us and we assist them. The idea of educating, inspiring, and empowering, it's a two-way street.
Through our exhibitions, we hope to share the stories and share the whole stories. So share both the struggles and the strengths. And I think through exhibition and through sharing stories, we hope to help people to find a common connection.
Art is not going to save people's lives, but art can provide education on how to save someone's life.